Hi, good morning. My name is Father Rayappa Kasi. I live in a village called Ekattupadi near Bello, South India. Today I'm going to talk about John Calvin from the 16th century, the reformer of Christianity. And he was an influential French theologian and pastor during the Protestant Reformation. He was a principal figure in the development of the system of Christian theology, later called Calvinism, aspects of which include the doctrines of predestination and of the absolute sovereignty of God in salvation of the human soul from death and eternal damnation, in which doctrines Calvin was influenced by and elaborated upon the Augustinian and other early Christian traditions. Various Congregational, Reformed, and Presbyterian churches, which look Calvin as the chief expositor of their beliefs, have spread throughout the world. Calvin was a tireless polemic and supportive and apologetic writer who generated much controversy. He also exchanged cordial and supportive letters with many reformers, including Philipp, Melanchthon, and Heinrich Bullinger. In addition to his seminal institutes of the Christian religion, Calvin wrote commentaries on most books of the Bible, confessional documents, and various other theological treatises. Originally trained as a humanist lawyer, he broke from the Roman Catholic Church around 1530 after religious tensions erupted in widespread deadly violence against Protestant Christians in France. Calvin fled to Basel, Switzerland, where in 1536 he published the first edition of the Institutes. In that same year, Calvin was recruited by Frenchman William Farel to help reform the church in Geneva, Switzerland, where he regularly preached sermons throughout the week. But the governing council of the city resisted the implementation of Calvin's and Farel's ideas, and both men were expelled. At the invitation of Martin Bucer, Calvin proceeded to Strasbourg, where he became the minister of a church of French refugees. He continued to support the reform movement in Geneva, and in 1541 he wrote, and he was invited back to lead the church of the city. Such a great man, John Calvin, and his sermons were very interesting, and even though he was a fundamentalist, we could see some progressive ideas in him, and the way he interpreted the Bible is very interesting. The new interpretation, actually it's not a classical, like a Jerome biblical commentary we are talking about. This man has interpreted the Bible in context, contextualization. That is, also we call it hermeneutics. So I think John Calvin employed hermeneutics. And actually I'm going to read a quote for you from John Calvin's writing, in which he talked about Homo sapiens, the human being. And he was accustomed to hear all the time the image of God in human species. All the time we are created in the image of God. That is what the early church taught us. So, but Calvin reinterpreted the whole concept of image of God differently, and he called it imago mundi. That means man of the soil. What he was telling is that we should realize first that we are made out of soil. Any development of theology or philosophy should sprout out from this assumption that we are made up of soil, and then we can become an image of God. Don't start with the image of God, but you admit what you really are. And it's a brilliant quote. I'm going to read it for you. And here it is. John Calvin wrote as follows. I quote, "If God had formed us of the stuff of the sun or the stars, or if he created any other celestial matter out of which man could have been made, then we might have said that our beginning was honorable. But we are made of mud. And this mud is not just on the hem of our gown, or on the sole of our boots, or in our shoes. We are full of it. We are nothing but mud and filth, both inside and outside." Brilliant writing. And he continued to write that even a blade of grass reflects the beauty of its creator. Even the blade of grass is not inferior to Homo sapiens in the intrinsic way. Grass is equally important, and we can compare with Homo sapiens. Sometimes Homo sapiens can't do what grass can do. Grass can photosynthesize and make own food. They are known autotrophs. They don't beg food from others or steal food from others. But Homo sapiens beg food from grass and beg food from this insignificant creature. Even the color of the grass, the green color, I think it is intended to make us rejoice. So I think I continue to read about the quote on grass written by John Calvin in the 16th century. I quote, "There is not one blade of grass, there is no color in this world that is not intended to make us rejoice." John Calvin's writings are very, very exciting and innovating, and Presbyterian churches all over the world, they look up to John Calvin, and people celebrate him. His writings are brilliant. His commentary on the Bible is very noteworthy. And keep on surfing on the Google and internet, and I will upload the quote what I just read for you in YouTube. Just check out at the bottom of the YouTube screen, and you'll be able to read the quote. Thank you. Bye.